Hey gang, it's time for the Algebra 1 Spring Final Review. That special hey gang was just for my B2 class. Alright guys, so we're going to start with TEK 6. So we've got a bunch of stuff going on here. We're going to determine the domain and range of quadratics and inequalities. We're going to write equations in vertex form. We're going to do more with standard form of our quadratics. Let's see, we're going to write quadratic functions given real solutions, and we're going to graph quadratics. So without further ado, let's start with number 1. So the cross section of a tent is the shape of a parabola. What comes up must come down, but here's our tent. The height of the tent, f of x, in terms of the width x, is shown on the graph. What is a reasonable domain for this situation? So let's remember that domain and range, they're going to be how wide and how tall. So when I look at this, let me grab my highlighter. I want to look at how wide is this graph. So if I'm looking at the domain, I'm looking at how wide does it go. Well, it goes from 0 all the way out to 8. So I need to put that it goes from 0 all the way to 8. Remember that domain is the x. Inequalities always point to the left when you're doing domain and range. Okay, then we want to look at how tall is it. How tall is my graph? Well, when I look at that, I see it starts down here at 0, and my graph continues up all the way to up here. This is how tall it is. Oh, and again, that's an 8. So it starts at 0, and it goes all the way up to 8. Y would be in the middle, less than or equal to, less than or equal to. Out of curiosity, would this be a maximum or minimum vertex? This would be a maximum vertex. Can you tell me the vertex on this one? The vertex is in the middle. It would be over 4 and up 8. So it would be at over 4 up 8. What would the axis of symmetry be? Axis of symmetry, remember it divides the quadratic in half. And remember the word axis of symmetry has an x in it. So it's x equals, what's the x value? It would be 4. Really good review right there. All right, so write the equation, quadratic equation of the graph below in vertex form. Well, if we're going to use vertex form, we probably need to know what's the vertex. So my vertex is -1, +4. So I'm going to write vertex, and I'm going to put -1, +4. So remember for your vertex that when you plug it in, this is the h, and oh, let me get this, my pen working. This is h, comma k. The vertex is hk. But what I don't know is the a value. So what is a? Well, in order to figure out a, I'm going to have to do a little bit of work, right? So let's look. We need to pick some points on the graph. Over 1 up 0. Over -3 up 0. There's my points. Let's do this. Let's make a t-bar. And we've got -1, 4 is my vertex. And let's put these other points on here. -3, 0, and 1, 0. What we're going to do is a quadratic regression, and it's going to tell us the value of a. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to go to Stat, Edit. Probably have some information in here that I don't want. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to put in -1, -3, and 1. Over here, I'm going to put in 4, 0, and 0. Okay, so I'm going to do Stat, Calculate. I need to go down and do a quadratic, because this is a quadratic, and it's going to give me my quadratic in standard form. So it's y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. A is -1. X squared minus 2x plus 3. Okay, so there's that. My a value is right here. It's that -1. So now I know that a is -1. So let's use this right here, and let's plug it in. F of x equals a, which is -1, parentheses, x minus, and we're going to put the h value. H is -1. So I'm going to put -1. 2 negatives is going to make a positive. Squared plus And then what is k? K is 4. So here is my answer. All right, let's go to number 3. Hey. Hold on. All right, so let's look at number 3. So what is the equation of a function in vertex form whose graph has a vertex of -3, -5, and contains the point 7, 5? So we're going to have, we'll make our t-bar, because we need to have all these points, right? So we're going to have -3, -5, and 7, 5. So what I'm going to need some graph paper. So let me grab that so that I can work this. All right, so here's what I've done. I've grabbed a dry erase board, and I've graphed my vertex right here, and this is the other point. So I need another point over here in order to figure out this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So from here, I need to go 10 units to get to that one. So I'm going to go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to go up right here. So here's my other point. That's the sister to this one, the twin. It's twin over here. So this is -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, -13. And up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So -13, 5 is this one, and this one is 7, 5. This one down here was -3, -5. So now I have my 3 points that I can use to write this equation. All right, so -13, 5. Keep that in mind. So -13 and 5. All right, let me zoom back in. So here we go. So we're going to, again, we need to know what is my A value. Okay, if I know my vertex is here, so this is my H, K. So let's plug it in and figure out what that A value is. So we're going to go Stat, Edit, put this in, clear it out. All right, so -3, 7, -13, -5, 5, and 5. Okay, we'll go to Stat, calculate number 5. So it's 0.1, 0.5, and -4.1. So my A value is 0.1. I'm going to change 0.1, 0.1, math, enter. Let's put this back into a fraction. It's 1/10. So that means my A value is 1/10. So again, how did I get that? I needed 3 points to do my quadratic regression. I did my regression, and when I did my stat calculate, which is number 5, it gives me the standard form, and there's my A value. It's 0.1. 0.1 is 1/10. So here we go. So y equals, and we can kind of use, I'll bring it up here. This is our vertex form that we're going to use down here. So we're going to have A, which is 1/10 times x minus, and h is a -3, so -3 squared plus k on the end, but our k is a -5, so it'll be -5. All right, so when you write the equation of a quadratic, you have to be sure that you know what A is. That stat regression will always work on that, so it is nice. All right, what is the range of f of x equals 2x squared plus 9? So I'm just going to go to my calculator. I'm going to go to y equals, oh, I got a bunch of stuff in here. All right, here we go. So we're going to put in 2x squared plus 9. We're going to graph it, take a quick look at it. Oh, there it is, just way up there, right? So here's what it looks like. It starts here and it goes up. Okay. The vertex right here is at 0,9. And I could go second table. I could look at it here if I wanted to. Whoa, okay, somebody's definitely, I'm going to change that to 1. Second table. So you kind of look You see it? Remember, you're looking to see where the numbers hone in. So it hones in here. 41, 41, 27, 27, 17, 11, 11, and 9. So 0, 9 is my vertex. So that's what it looks like. So what's the range of this? Well, of course I'm going to do domain too. Domain, how wide does it get? The arrows show that it gets wider and wider, wider and wider. So my domain is all real numbers. The range, how tall is it? Well, remember the range. Oh, there we go. Range is how tall is it? Where does it go? Well, it comes down to here and it doesn't go below that. It only goes up above. So it goes up here at 9 and it goes bigger. So I'm going to say y's boundary is 9 and it's always greater than or equal to 9. All right, guys, that concludes Teak 6.